Already got a lot of toilet paper at his house. We got distractions. Are we feeling good about this? We focused on a pretty good opponent.
Yeah, we feel good about it. It's been a fun week at school so far with all the stuff going on there, and lots of color and decorations in people's houses this week to go along with the Halloween decorations. So always a fun week in Zachary during homecoming.
All right, the parade is at 3 o'clock.
That's a great question. Is that when the parade is? 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on Friday.
I read the sign. That's the only reason I know it. All right. More importantly, though, 7 o'clock, the Opelousas Tigers, the defending 4A state champions, come into town. Let's talk about those Tigers.
Yep. Got a certainly have a quality opponent coming in this week for our homecoming game. People look at our schedule and say, why would you schedule the defending state champions for homecoming? And I say, well, look at the rest of our schedule and try and pick somebody else, right? I mean, like, really difficult schedule that we're playing, and so we're excited about having a quality opponent there.
But they graduated everybody, right?
Unfortunately, they did not. They did not graduate everybody. In fact, they returned 10 on offense and 9 on defense.
Woo.
Right. So, good football team coming in. Have a quality offensive line. Have a Division I running back. Have a tremendous athlete at quarterback. We've got an Ole Miss commitment at wide receiver. And then, of course, on defense, return that many guys. They certainly fly around. They have great team speed and just a quality opponent.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody look up here. This young lady, Miss Crowder, is going to be passing around questions. And for those of you who are not used to this, we have questions to ask Coach Brew. Now, we're going to make it a little different tonight. We're recognizing the cross-country team. So if you have some questions for Coach Julie Fink.
Oh, yeah. We need Ask Coach Fink questions.
Let's get some questions for Coach Fink.
That's a great idea.
So, wave your hand. Miss Crowder's going to be coming around. Get those questions. During the breaks, if we got enough questions for either Coach Brew or Coach Fink, we'll do a drawing. Miss Diane, you got some good gifts? Miss Diane's got some good stuff down there. So, go ahead. Pass them around. All right, Coach Brew. The cross-country team is here. Why don't you talk a little bit about the cross-country team and Coach Fink and what she's doing?
Yep. I'll say this. The cross-country program certainly has been growing over the years. It continues to grow under the leadership of Coach Fink. When I got here 11 years ago, it was a small group of students. I don't know what her total number is right now as far as the team is concerned, but there's a lot of them out there running and doing a tremendous job. They're coming off a really successful weekend last weekend down in New Orleans, where both the boys and the girls took first place honors at their meet. So season's going really well for the cross-country team. We're excited about it. I know they have a big meet this weekend in Baton Rouge at Highland Road Park. I believe that's the St. Joseph's meet. Is that right, Coach? Good. So we'll be competing this weekend down there, and we're excited about it, and certainly excited that Coach Fink had some time to bring her team in and be a guest on the show tonight.
So a lot of folks don't know this, but he's not just football coach. He is the athletic director for the school system. So he knows very well what's going on with these other programs. We've got a couple other fall programs, Coach Brew. Why don't you tell us how things are going with Coach Perry in volleyball and Coach Pivito with swimming?
Right. Things are going well all across the board as far as the fall is concerned. I mean, anytime school starts, you know what you got going on there with cross country and football and swim and volleyball, and we're excited about that. Lots of athletes running around out there, lots of athletes competing. week in and week out. Swim team's doing really well under Coach Julie Pinto. Obviously, I got an opportunity this past week to attend a volleyball game where on senior night, they had senior night this past week, and I watched them take a 3-set victory over Port Allen. And also this past weekend, they had a 3-set victory over Slaughter Charter right up the road. So a couple of good wins for the volleyball team. We're excited about them as well, and so things are going really well in the athletic department right now.
All right, let's talk a little football. JV had a big game yesterday. Why don't you walk us through what happened there?
Yeah, so we had we're doing something a little bit different this year. We actually play our district rival Catholic. We're playing them twice. We always play them in week 10, and we're going to still do that, but we decided to play them earlier in the season as well, and certainly very proud of our JV guys. They got a big 30-20 victory yesterday at Catholic. And they've got that new one-sided stadium at Catholic, and we sure brought a bunch of Bronco fans there. It was nice to see, and treated them to a great victory for us yesterday.
All right, Coach Brew, we're doing this on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I got to do a quick shout out. When we do this on Monday or Tuesday night, we don't see Pee Wee LeBlanc because he's doing co-ed softball.
Right.
But tonight we are graced by the presence of the park superintendent, Mr. Pee Wee LeBlanc.
I mean, what more can you possibly ask for, right? Old Pee Wee does a hell of a job down there at the park, and is nice enough to allow his wife to come to work with us every day in the athletic department. That's why I really love Pee Wee, I got to be honest with you. It's certainly the first family of Zachary Athletics down there, no doubt about it. Pee Wee, thank you for everything you do. We appreciate it.
All right, Coach.
Runs a hell of a chain crew on Friday night as well.
Well, that's debatable.
What?
The Zachary Chain crew, we've had a couple of folks on that crew, no names, Keller, Buddy Bodwin, that may have been a little more aggressive than they should have been just carrying those chains.
Can't be too aggressive. They make things fun on Friday nights, no doubt.
Well, Coach Brew, while we were off last Friday, a lot of other people were playing some football.
Right.
So, what are some of the observations from some of the teams locally in our district, or even the other 5A district? What are some of the things that popped out at you from last weekend's Friday Night Football?
I think there's a couple things going on inside our district right now that are interesting. I think Woodlawn is playing some really good football right now. They scored 50-something points on West Feliciana on Friday night and had a big win against them. Central is 4-0 right now, playing really, really good ball. They are playing Lafayette Christian on Friday night, which will be a big game for them. And Lafayette Christian's been in the Superdome the last 7 years, so interesting to see how that one pans out. And then, of course, Catholic had a big homecoming win against West Monroe last Friday night. So the district playing really, really well. Liberty lost a nail biter from what I can remember in the district as well. So, and then Scotlandville loses a 1-point game to at Santa Maw. So obviously our district right now is playing some really good ball. And it's one of those things where, we're going to finish up pre-district this week. We'll crank up with district play next week at Scotlandville. And it's here. I can't believe we're already halfway through the season after Friday night, right? Or halfway through the regular season, I should say. So I'm excited about it. As far as the rest of the state of Louisiana, the number one team in the state, Ruston, continues to roll. They beat a team out of Texas, Midland something or another. Beat them pretty bad, so Ruston's off to a 4-0 start right now. So I just think all across the state, I think the 5A classification is awfully deep this year. There's a lot of really good football teams across the state, and we're excited about keeping up with all that.
Coach Brew, how did some of the teams that we've already played, you mentioned West Feliciana, that didn't count for PowerPoints.
Right.
Blackman hadn't lost a game since they played us, have they?
That's correct. They beat Brew 42-14 the other night. Our second game was Acadiana. They beat New Iberia 62-0. Our third game was Karen Crow. Man, those guys in Karen Crow, I'm starting to feel sorry for them. I really am. Right? They lose a 1-point game in week 1. They lose a 6-point game in week 2. They lose a 1-point game to us, and they lose a 5-point game to Barr last Friday night. So
ouch.
They've been in some really, really tough games. We need them to start winning. We need them to start picking up some PowerPoints for us. So hopefully they'll get that straight this week.
All right, Coach Brew, I'm looking in the audience. I see your softball coaches here.
Yeah.
I see your wrestling coaches here.
Right.
Your assistant volleyball coaches. I mean, what's going on a Wednesday night, Coach Brew?
I like it. Wednesday night, they midweek, hump day, they're ready to get out and relax a little bit. Everybody's into the homecoming festivities. To those of you that usually come to walk-ons on Wednesday night to have dinner, and you were looking forward to a nice, quiet night, I apologize about that. Might get a little loud, it might get a little rowdy in here. So, anyway, if you're here to support us, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Looking forward to having a great night.
All right, we're going to go to our first break. Get your questions in. We don't have enough questions to do a drawing yet. We need lots of questions for Coach Fink and Coach Brew. All right, we are back. We have our cross-country athletes of the week, Mr. Max Gennaro and Nala Mitchell. Before we get into that, we need to recognize an oftentimes Coach Brew attendee. Grayson Stovall's here. Got a very nice Zachary wrestling shirt. Ben, take care of your partner here. I'm looking for one of those Zachary wrestling shirts. All right, so we're gonna start off with Max Gennaro. Max, say hello to everybody.
Hi guys.
So Max, you are a sophomore at Zachary, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody listen up. This is my favorite part. Max, what's your GPA?
My GPA is around a 3.9 or a 4.0.
One more time, I don't think people heard you.
3.9 or a 4.0.
All right, so tell me about Coach Fink and the cross-country program.
Coach Fink has helped me so much in the past 2 years. I learned so much coming from middle school, and my training has just improved so much. I mean, she really helped me get a hold of my ego, which was the best.
Wait, what? Wait. Helped you do what?
Get a hold of my ego.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Max, is there a particular cross-country course around here that you really, really like?
I really like running at Highland Road Park. I've had some of my best races there, but also I like running at Port Hudson because we run there every day.
All right, now Port Hudson's got a little bit of up and down, more so than Highland, huh?
Little bit is an understatement.
All right, last year, did you get the opportunity to go up to Natchitoches?
Natchitoches, I think so, yeah.
That was the state meet.
State, yeah, I went to state.
All right, see, you're surprised I know where the state meet is. So, what was it like last year? You were a freshman, you went to Natchitoches last year? Well, tell me about it.
It was actually a very unique experience for me, I'd say, because 2 days before I was having trouble walking because I almost tore my IT band.
Oh,
so it was a very interesting meet for me, and Coach Fink got pretty mad at me because I told her I couldn't run. So I went there to do my first warm-up because I was like, the pain is a 2, so I think I can run this race. And then I did my second warm-up with my team, and I could not run anymore. And so I was like, Coach Fink, I can't run. She was like, well, you're gonna run. And I'm just gonna sum it up
That's
to
good
that.
coaching.
But I did end up running, and I learned that I can do anything that I think I can do in my head because I ended up almost getting first place on my team. It was a really good race for me.
All right, Max, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Why don't you identify some of the boys team that's here to support you and the cross-country team? This is the pressure. If you forget somebody, they're going to remember tomorrow in practice.
Stand up, I can't
Oh
see.
yeah, you can stand up.
Okay.
They're going to try to trip you if you forget them.
Will, Carson, Braylon, Kedrick. Oh, Elijah and Ben, they're over there. I'm sorry we didn't have enough chairs. And other Will Gudo.
All right, Max, so how many years have you been running cross-country?
Ooh, I've been running since 5th grade, as long as I could.
All right, who was your coach in 5th grade?
I think her name was Miss Boswell. Well, I know her name was Miss Boswell. I think that was my coach my 5th grade year, though.
Okay. At the middle school, who was your coach?
Coach O'Neillian.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Coach O'Neillian did a lot of work with the cross-country team. They got a new coach now, don't they?
Coach Doherty, that's my sister's coach. She loves me so much. He's a great coach, too.
All right. Now, are you prepared for the toughest question?
What's the toughest question?
The toughest question, your greatest moment. What was your favorite moment? Greatest moment, favorite moment? But at Zachary High School, you're just a sophomore, but still.
Can I have 2?
Heck yeah, man.
Okay.
Look, you're the player of the week. You can have 3 if you want.
Okay, actually, I'll take 3. So, not in order, but definitely the state meet I just talked about because I really was not expecting to perform so well. They had a bunch of knee lube on my knee to help me run better, I guess. I don't really know what it did. It just made my knee spicy. My second would have to be the track meet that I broke 10 at.
Okay, you're gonna have to elaborate. A lot of people
sorry,
don't know what
sorry,
cross country means.
So
10 is not in a mile. It is in.
So 10 minutes, breaking 10 minutes is a very big accomplishment in the 2 mile. So that was for track season. I'm a distance and middle distance runner for track. And this race, we were at Episcopal, I think, and I ended up placing 3rd, amazingly. I was really surprised. But Damien, or my other teammate, kind of fell off a little. He wasn't having that good of a day. And I wasn't really sure what to do because that had never happened. And Coach Fink just told me, run. So I ran, and I ended up placing 3rd. I was like, okay, that was cool. And then I looked at the time. I got 9:57. I was like, that's even cooler.
All right. Coach Fink, remind me to, when you get up here, to go through some of your coaching techniques. Run. I mean, it's cross country. We're gonna elaborate on that further. All right. So, Max, anything else you want to tell folks?
You should join the cross country team if you're not on the cross country team. I think this is being broadcasted. But,
Absolutely, man. Worldwide. We're on the WWW.
We want you.
Very nice. Very nice. Max Gennaro. All right. While Max switches places with Nala, we have our first drawing winner of the night, Ms. Yvonne Harris. Yvonne, where are you?
Arms. It's white shirt.
Okay. Miss Diane, down there on the end, she has your prize. All right, we have our female cross-country player of the week. Nala, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nala.
All right, what year are you at Zachary High School?
I'm a junior this year.
All right, get close to that mic because I'm going to ask you the question I really like. Okay, Nala, what is your grade point average?
It's like a 4.2, 4.3.
I didn't hear you. Say that real loud into the microphone.
It's like a 4.2.
Come on! It's a 4.2, people! I like what Coach Fink's doing with those athletes. All right. So how long have you been doing cross country?
Since the 4th grade.
The 4th grade?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about Coach Fink? Is she a good coach? And what does she do to make you better?
She's a great coach. And even though sometimes I get mad with her because she pushes so hard, like her pushing and not letting you give up is what makes you a better runner.
So she says run and don't give up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's cross country, not walk country.
I've got it down. I've got that down. So, what is your favorite course?
Probably the state course because it's the flattest. It's the less hills I have to go up.
All right. How many years have you qualified for state?
My freshman and sophomore year.
So you've been there twice already.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's got to be kind of exciting.
Yes.
You went as a freshman and a sophomore.
Both times with the team. Yes, sir.
All right. Did you place better the second time?
No.
Uh-oh.
No. My freshman year, it was also really cold and raining, and so I kind of just zoned out and I just ran. I think my sophomore year, I was a little more in my head. But freshman year, I just, honestly, I can't tell you much. It was cold and raining.
All right. So, you're an upperclassman. I gave Max an opportunity to introduce his teammates on the male side. Why don't you introduce some of your teammates? And you can stand up.
Okay. We have Renaya. She's a senior. Then we have Anna and Yvonne, who are both juniors.
All right. So, how many girls are running total? Do you have an idea? I know Coach Fink's got it, but I want to see if you know.
28.
28 girls are out running. Wow. Okay. I gave Max 3. How many do you want? Favorite moments at Zachary? How many?
3.
All right. So, top 3. Go for it.
Watching people, this is more of
Get close to the mic.
it's watching everyone get in the ice baths, because especially like the freshmen who have never done ice baths before, because Max, freak out, and it's the funniest thing.
All right, talk to us. Explain ice bath.
So, the trainers make them for us, but you either have like a tub or a trash can, and they fill it up with, cold hose water, and then dump a bunch of ice. And if you're lucky, they'll dump it on you while you're in the ice bath. And we do it usually like 2 days before our meet on a Thursday. We'll stay in for 5-10 minutes, and it just helps us recover and get our bodies back to the best before the meets.
All right, so ice baths, number 1. Number 2.
The homecoming parades. Because we're cross country, we have a wagon full of candy and our flags, and we'll walk in the parade. But it's always just fun to spend time with the team.
Okay. 3.
The bus ride back from state.
Okay.
Last year we stopped and got ice cream, but it's also just all of the pressure from being in season is gone. Because state, usually it happens to be the last meet, and everyone, even if they're not happy with their times, they're excited it's over and they get a break from running. But they're all just really proud of where they've come throughout the season. And it's just like a 3-hour bus ride home where we can just party.
All right, so here's a question you weren't anticipating. Okay, so you do cross country. Do you do the other track?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much of a break does she give you between cross country and indoor?
We get about 2 weeks. I think it's 2
2 weeks.
We get Thanksgiving off, and then like another week, and then we're right back on it.
Man, Julie, I don't know if I need to interview you. They've given me all the scoop on this. All right, anything else you want to tell folks?
You should definitely join cross country. It's a great sport, and even if you do other sports, it's really it'll help you improve in those sports.
Okay, I want you to do a quick pub and a quick push for the meet that we sponsor. And Coach Fink's going to do it too. So tell me about the big meet that we're sponsoring.
The big meet. So that's down at Port Hudson in St. Francisville. It's a 3-mile course. It's probably one of the tougher courses that we do, but that honestly kind of makes it more exciting because you have all this anticipation and this because everyone knows their time's going to be different, and so everyone, they're just so excited. They're like, what's my time going to be? Like, how, am I going to do good? And it's just also a fun course because it is so different. It's early in the morning, so it's not too hot, but yeah.
So you guys run first.
Yes, sir.
And then the middle school runs, right?
They do 2 miles.
Okay. So, and that is 2 weeks?
The 19th.
The 19th of October.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else you want to tell folks?
I don't think so.
All right. There's your cross country player of the week, Nala. Julie, you want a break or you want to just jump in here and let's go? It's up to you. I can just ask questions and sit back and let her go. All right, folks. Your coach of the week, Coach Brew, is it the Farm Bureau Coach of the Week for her too? All right, our Farm Bureau Coach of the Week, Julie Fink. All right, Julie, let's just cut right to it. Why is Zachary the greatest place you've ever coached?
Oh man, I love this place. The support, the community, the athletes, the other coaches that I work with, Coach Brew, Diane, Coach Carrier. I do. I absolutely love coaching at Zachary. I love the community feel. It's just been fantastic. I loved it so much. I moved away from Baton Rouge, and I now live in Zachary.
Nice. We got Crowder back. We got Julie here. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Tell me about the 2014. Start with, we started with the boys. Start with the girls, then go to the boys.
Start with the girls and go with the boys. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have, like Nala said, we have 28 girls out and we have 21 boys out. And our girls are really young. We just have, I think we just have one senior, which is Renaya. So, you know, we are just building momentum and continuing to get stronger. I got a lot of commitment in the girls. Just a great group of hard workers, and we're improving week after week after week. Just a great crew of young ladies on the team. And then on the boys' side, same thing. We have let's see, Braylon Payne is a senior, Noah George is a senior, Will Nelson, Will Godot, and Marcus Coates. And then all the other guys are, did I catch them all? I think I got everybody, yeah. All the other guys are, you know, we're just continuing to get stronger and get the miles on us, so it's really good. We're building momentum.
We have questions from the crowd. How fast can you run?
Okay, I can just tell you this. I broke, I did set my 10K PR this past year. Let's see, I gotta think about what it was. Oh, it was a sub, it was less than an hour, my 10K PR. So
How far?
6.1. So, you know, I'm still cruising, I'm still moving, I'm moving. I won't just call it moving, maybe not cruising. It's all relative.
All right, so before we get into some of these other questions, talk about this coaching. Run. I mean, is this how we motivate?
Well, I mean, Nala said it, I say it all the time. This is a running sport. We are not walk country, we are run country. We are cross country. So, no, I work to get them stronger, develop them. You got to run. You got to run. It's a varsity sport. We are running.
All right, so let's go to the family a little bit. Lynn's here. Talk about Lynn. Talk about the kids. Lifelong running, family running.
Yeah. Well, okay, so my husband, Lynn, he's really the one that got me into running a long time ago. He had been running since middle school, and I was a recreational runner, and we love running as a sport in our family recreationally, and he's been very instrumental and is my partner in helping to put workouts together and support the team. He does all the analytics, right? He's my analytical guy.
Run faster.
Yeah, but then he's also the equipment manager. He has to haul the tent and the ice jugs and he does quite a lot of behind the scenes action for the cross country team. And then I have an older daughter who's in Georgia, Atlanta. She's a doctor, and I have a son that is in Baton Rouge. And he is a project manager for one of the chemical plants. And then I have my daughter Annie here with us tonight. She just graduated from college and getting herself ready to try to get into nursing school.
Nice.
And she ran for LSU.
Nice. All right. Here's a good question. What are some of the season goals for the team? And then the next is, how are we doing in the rankings?
Okay, so our season goals, I really look at our team times season goals. Like, I always want my runners to individually continue to improve and get faster, and I want them to be faster at the end of the season than they were at the beginning of the season. You know, it's come a trajectory that we are on to get stronger and faster from one season to the next. So individually, I always have goals for my athletes, and then collectively, we score 5 in cross country, so we want to get that average down. For the boys, we're hunting 17-10. I can't tell you off the top of my head for the girls, but we have to qualify, be the top 8 teams at the regional meet. That's going to be on, I think it's November 10th.
Let me guess, Highland Road.
And it is at Highland Road, yeah. And so we compete up against, in cross country, there's no select, non-select. We compete against all the public and private schools in the state of Louisiana. So we'll be up against all the Division I schools, and at the regional race, we have to be a top 8 finishing team to get to the state championship, or a top 25 individual. So my goal is to get both teams back to Natchitoches and chasing our best team finishes.
Okay, so that's the fall. What do you do in the spring? Who do you work with in the spring?
I work with Coach Chris Carrier in the spring, and Amanda Woosley, and Coach Kendall Cleveland, and
Okay, but which athletes do you work with, and what do they compete in?
I'm trying to think of all my other coaches I work with. Our coaching staff on track and field is pretty large.
Yep.
I coach the distance kids. So mid-distance, 800 meters, which is a half mile, all the way to the 2-mile race. I coach the 4x8, that's a relay, a half mile, each kid runs a half mile. And last year, the boys made it to the state championship and landed on the podium, 3rd place, first time ever for Zachary High School, very exciting. So most of my cross-country kids will be running track and field. And it's part of the cycle. It's what makes cross-country faster, is running track in the spring, running track in the spring, makes your cross-country in the fall faster.
2 weeks? You give them 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Man, task.
And we're running a longer distance in cross-country, but it's really, I guess, about 6 weeks before the first indoor meet. And the endurance strength that the kids build in cross-country just pays off dividends in indoor and outdoor track. Actually 400 meters and up. The work that they put in and the endurance strength they build in the fall sets these kids up to really do well in the winter and the spring in indoor and outdoor track and field.
All right, last question. What so far has been your favorite moment here at Zachary?
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of pressure.
I ask the same question every year, and this isn't your first time here.
Golly, Coach. Okay, well, I will say, I'll have to say, you know what? Last week, when my boys and girls team won first place team at the Thibodeau's, the Nichols Invitational, let me tell you, that was extremely exciting, and that is a huge high point in my life. There's quite a few others. I mean, like Caleb Ackman and Ren being the all-metro runners, EBR, being the Stars, Ren Langley, that was pretty darn exciting too.
All right, so you did more than one, but I let the kids do more than one. All right, your Farm Bureau Coach of the Week, Julie Fink.
Thank you, Warren. I appreciate it very much. Thanks, Coach Brew.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to do one more drawing, and we've got really good prizes. Miss Diane's got really good prizes. We'll do one more drawing, and then we got some questions for Coach Brew. Hey, we might make it interesting. We might ask some of Coach Fink's questions to Coach Brew. See how fast he can run and things. tournament, our winner, Diana Dunaway. Diana, are you still here? Diana? Hey!
Oh, we got a winner.
All right, Diana.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. All right. So, Coach Brew, we have some good questions. We have some interesting questions. You want the good questions, or you want to go kind of off the wall ones?
Go with it, man. Whatever you want.
All right. Coach Brew, what's your favorite thing about coaching?
I would say that the relationships that are formed with the kids, I think those things are important, and in a lot of instances, life lasting. And that's something that's pretty important. Also, I enjoy in the high school setting. I enjoy, especially in Zachary, a small community-based school. With everybody, being a part of it. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to be a part of it.
Next question, two-part question. First part, how do you keep the team motivated each week? It's a long season. How do you keep them going?
Yeah. Well, when we train, when the off season starts in January, when we're training, we're talking to our guys all the time about preparing for a 15-week season, and y'all hear me talk about that a lot, but when you talk about it a lot, your guys start to see that and understand that, and as the years have gone by, that's become the norm around here, thank goodness, right? Lots of 14 and 15-week seasons. So when you're training, they need to understand why they're training as hard as they are, is to get ready for those kinds of weeks that you're going to have, and those kinds of seasons. As far as the motivation is concerned, it's really not as difficult as people think. I got to be honest, because there's a standard by which our program runs now. There's a level of expectations that we have inside of our program, and our guys want to live up to those standards and live up to those expectations. And so, week in and week out, we have quality depth on the team, and we're able to have some competition there week in and week out. And so I think that's really the biggest thing. I mean, those guys get in there and compete every day and get ready for Friday.
Okay, kind of along that same theme of motivation. This is a really good question. Considering you're coming off an open day, and it's homecoming, and it's a good football team, that presents some challenges, doesn't it?
It does, but I gotta be honest with you. In the 11 years that I've been here, our guys have always played really, really well homecoming week. They've always been locked in for homecoming week. In the 10 seasons that we've coached so far, we lost one homecoming game. That was to St. Aug, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, which was a really, really good football team, and it was a really close game, So I don't really buy into the stuff of people not being locked in and motivated and ready to play. I mean, you're going to play in front of a huge crowd on Friday because it's homecoming, and if that doesn't self-motivate you, then there's a problem, right? You get to play in front of your hometown on homecoming night, and you got to be locked in and ready to go. And thankfully, our guys have done a good job with that.
And the dance is canceled if we lose. Right, Coach?
Right. No doubt.
All right. Your wrestling coach threw one out here, and it's a good question. I know you're gonna be all over it. Tell us how wrestling has helped Michael Seps and your other football players that have done wrestling.
Right. Well, wrestling is one of those sports that it's the most mentally and physically challenging sport that there is on the planet. Right, and I'm a head football coach, and that's what got me to Zachary. And being a head football coach pays the bills, but wrestling is my favorite sport because of what it brings to the table as far as your character is concerned and your mental well-being. I mean, it's just so special. As far as the physical aspects of that, you're talking about one of the some of the greatest football players in the era that I've been here for 11 years. Some of the greatest football players that we've had here were also outstanding wrestlers. You're talking about, Wes Brady, who was a state champion. You're talking about, Ashton Freeman was a state runner-up and a state champion as a junior. Michael Sepps now is a starting middle linebacker for us that leads the team in tackles and areas. He's a wrestler as well. I think there's a direct correlation to the push-pull and the balance that goes with being a wrestler and grip strength but from a mental standpoint, if you make it through those wrestling practices, you can make it through anything in the world. And I think that that's the biggest thing. I certainly would love to see more of our football players wrestling. We want majority of our athletes at school to be multi-sport athletes anyway, and I would love to see more of them get on that wrestling mat every year. It does tremendous things for them as a football player as well.
All right, Coach Brew. Oh, wow. Nolan Ryan is apparently in the house.
Right. He's a big fan. He usually makes it here once or twice a year.
And he wants to know where you got that ridiculous hat at. And you're not wearing a hat, so Pee-wee, you're not supposed to end a sentence with at, okay? In Golden Triangle, that may be on the English, using that kind, but we don't end with an at.
Did Coach Prime send you that hat?
Can I tell you a little story about Coach Prime?
Sure.
All right. Coach Prime's 3-1 right now. You realize that,
right? Right.
I played Coach Prime when I was a freshman.
Really?
In college.
Wow.
The night before the game, he's on the Bobby Bowden show. He says, I'm going to score 3 touchdowns tomorrow. He was a defensive back.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
First time we line up to punt, he goes out. He does this. Doak Campbell Stadium goes nuts. They are going crazy, and he's doing this. And then he does this. You could hear the ball thud.
Wow.
Got that ball. He didn't score on that one.
He didn't?
Not on that one. He scored on 2. Well, no, he only scored on 1, and he had an interception for a touchdown. But he didn't get 4. Okay,
Right.
to be clear.
Right.
At some point in time in the third quarter, I had to go out on punt team. I asked the guy next to me, I said, hey man, I'm second string punt team. What am I supposed to do? He said, go tackle Dion.
Yeah, good luck with that.
The next time I lined up, he said, don't try to get Dion. Work on your 40 time.
Oh, nice.
I love me some Dion. Thank you, Pee-wee.
Right.
Work on your English.
The Colorado Buffaloes.
Coach Brew, if you had to look at the strength of your team, is there a certain position group that you would say they stick out at this point in time? I know it can change every week.
Right. I would say right now that our offensive line's playing really well. And I commend them for that because it was a young group starting off. I think they're playing well. I think in the quarterback position, I think Gonzalez is playing well. He's averaging over 200 yards passing a game right now. I think he has 8 touchdowns and only 1 pick. So from that standpoint, I think we're getting good play there. But it's hard to choose one because when you watch our running backs carry that football, those 2 guys are a lot of fun to watch right now. Devecchia Ruffin and Nate James are certainly toting the pigskin really well. And, and then on the defensive side of the ball, the 2 inside linebackers, Michael Sepp and Tyson Kimball, are making plays. Donovan Beth is coming in and making plays there as well. So I just think that we're starting to see some things take place as our team grows in experience. We're starting to see different groups look good every week and get better and better and better. And that's one of the things that we talked about in the team meeting today was, listen, we have to concentrate on getting a little bit better every single week. And if we can do that, we're going to be okay. And of course, that's what every coach wants to see. But with a more inexperienced team like we have, that's that's doable, right? You can get that much better every week, and so eliminate some of the mistakes that we've been making, and don't put the ball on the ground. I think we got a chance to be a pretty good football team.
All right, Coach Brew, before we get to the last question, excuse me, Coach Fink wanted to recognize Kelvin Kelly, who's here as well, and also works with the track team. Last week, was it last week or the week before, where we interviewed Coach Kelly?
Yeah, he's Coach Kelly's like one of those. He's one of those Swiss Army knives. You know, he's got a lot of different titles and can do a lot of different things. He's a tremendous part of our football program and has a big part of that. And then this year we asked him to take on giving Coach Fink some help with our cross-country program, and he's doing a heck of a job there as well. So, Coach Kelly, thank you so much for everything you do, man. We certainly appreciate it.
All right, Coach Brew. Last question of the day, but I got to point out, what week is this for us?
Week 5.
It's week 5, and unlike most years, we haven't had somebody say, are we going to the Dome this year?
Right.
Usually that's week 2 or 3, but it's coming, I'm sure, but this is close to it. The question is, what does it feel like walking into the championship? I saw some of your players come in just now. You know, granted, last year a lot of them were on that team that walked out into the Dome. For you as a coach, what's it like to walk out and play for the championship?
Well, it's really special, but for a little bit different reason than, say, our players. I know it's very special for our players to walk in there and know that they're going to play for a title, you know. As a coach, especially a head coach, when you walk out there and you look around and you think about how important and how special it is for your community to be in that building and understanding the support that has to be there in order for you to have a successful program. And I'll tell you, it's so much fun to see our administration and our school board and our teachers and our community members out there with the big smiles on their face being in that building because of the way our kids have obviously been playing, and then having an opportunity to close your season out in that venue with a chance to go win a title. I've been so blessed and lucky in my career. I've coached in that building now 5 times in Zachary, once at Livonia, and then 3 times at Redemptress. So I've had a chance to coach there a lot, and I can tell you this, Warren, it never, ever, ever gets old, right? It just, that feeling of a little kid on Christmas morning walking into that building, it's so special. And knowing the kind of work that your staff has to put in throughout the course of the year, the kind of work that your players have to put in throughout the course of the year, knowing what your community has done to support the program, the faculty that's worked with your kids academically and the administration and support. There's just so many wonderful things about it. It's hard to describe. The first time that we made it in 15, I can remember meeting a lot of old school Zachary people, and we were lucky enough to win the championship, and the weeks following, the people that stopped by my office, it was so special to see the look in their eyes of just pride and loyalty and just excitement and for their hometown and for their school and for their team. It was a tremendous feeling for me as a head coach, and that feeling never gets old, you know, and I hope that it never does. It's one of the great things about being in the profession that I am is my job is always different based on the new team that we have, right? And it's always a different set of challenges. So I guess the short answer is it feels incredible every time. The long answer is what I just gave you, how special it is for so many people to be a part of it that had a big, big part to do with it.
All right, that's 10 weeks away. We got a good football team coming in Friday, Coach Brew.
Yeah, we do. We
Close
do.
us out.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the cross-country team for being here tonight. Thank you to Coach Fink and her staff for being here tonight. I would also like to apologize to any walk-ons customers that came here tonight just to come have a little dinner and you had to put up with the Coach Brew show for the last hour. So I apologize about that if that's not something that you wanted. We're not usually here on Wednesday nights. But I hope that you enjoy the show. As far as this week is concerned, homecoming in the corral, it will be a packed house on Friday night. Certainly give a shout out to all of our students. Would love to see you there on Friday. Even more so, I would like for you to be extremely careful this week as the homecoming dance is on Saturday night. And we certainly want to see all of your bright, shiny faces nice and safe on Monday morning coming back to school. As far as that game is concerned, Opelousas is one heck of a football team that presents a tremendous challenge to us as a football team and a football program. But that's what we want. That's who we're playing week in and week out. The level of competition that we play here at Zachary is second to none. We're excited about the challenge and excited about the opportunity. And we can't wait to see you in the corral on Friday night. Go Broncos!